Hey guys, it's Jenna. In today's video, we're going to be doing a foundation test. As you can see, I do not have my face done. I just have my eyes done. For my eyes, I know I'm going to get some questions. I always link all of the products that I use in my description box, but today I actually used the Hollywood Flawless Filter in the Hollywood Flawless Eye Filter Eyeshadow Quad in Star Aura. I used all of the shades here. And then I also layered a little bit of the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill Cream Shadow, and this is in Stellar, and it's such a beautiful kind of pinky metallic there. So really, really gorgeous. This is how it came out. It's just very beautiful, I think, very easy. Now, let's get on to the main event, which is the Hourglass foundation is going to be our foundation of choice today. So I actually picked it up from Sephora. This is the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation, and I picked up the shade 5, and as I pulled it out of the packaging, I was a little worried that it wasn't going to match me. Kind of worried, but oh, I still have my scrunchie on my arm. Sorry about that. I also picked up the brush that Hourglass has kind of created to use with this product, and I also have my beauty blender. So I'm going to be doing both styles, like brush and sponge, and just kind of see which one I prefer, which one I think will apply the product the best. So this is their new foundation, the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. It says it is okay, there's nothing about this on the pack. Let's go to Sephora's website. That's a little bit better. This one is $58 US. It is, in Canadian conversion, because I did pick this up from Sephora, 74. So we've got a little bit of a jump there for the Canadian dollar. This one is described as a natural finish foundation. It's a liquid, medium coverage as well. It's long wearing, cruelty-free, vegan. This is described as a weightless liquid foundation that delivers buildable medium coverage with a light diffusing effect. Interesting how there's kind of been like a light theme this year. Have you guys noticed that with the NARS? With the Beautiful Skin, there's lots of light through that one. There's a lot of like light diffusing products now. We also have skincare in a lot of products too. The highlighted ingredients in this is light diffusing pigments. We have blurring spheres. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's supposed to blur the skin. White tea extract, vitamin E, and antioxidants. It's inspired by the ambient lighting collection, which Hourglass is known for. We have the ambient lighting blushes, the bronzers, we have those 6-pan palettes that are released every holiday. So it's supposed to be that same beautiful, like light reflecting, like your skin but better, shine right through kind of idea. You guys can see I have some redness to deal with, which has been looking a little bit better, you know, ish. Been actually trying to have a couple products in play to help reduce my redness. Plus my acne is sort of okay, but there's some marks that we have to deal with. So I'm going to see how coverage is and all of that. I'm wondering if I should prime though, because I haven't primed with anything yet. I wonder if I should, or should I just leave it? Maybe I'll do just a very basic prime, which is just to kind of prep the skin. Nothing that's going to give it more glow or mattify or anything like that. So for this step, I'm just going to add some hydration to the skin. This is the hydration cream from rephr, and you can see there's a lot of it. You can actually use this as skincare, as hand cream, body cream. It's really a very versatile product, but I'm going to actually just prep the skin with this because I know that it doesn't add glow, it doesn't mattify, it just moisturizes, and that's all I'm wanting for this step. Just so we have like a really nice hydrated base to work with. Nothing too crazy dry or anything. My skin is a normal skin type for those that are wondering, so I guess it could be okay with like nothing, but I just prefer to just do a light layer of something. It helps with all foundations really, so that nothing clings. If it clings despite moisture, then you know that it's the foundation and there's a flaw with the product. That's sort of how I figure out that it's not just like me needing a very desperate hydration boost versus the product being not a great fit for me. So just actually using my hands, I did wash my hands for those that are wondering. Very important to do that. I'm so hoping this is a match. Oh, it looks a little bit too dark. Okay, it may work. It may work. We'll see. It does seem to be a little bit darker than I would like, but if we just fluff it out a little bit. Let you guys know that the shades can be a little bit misleading. Just be careful with that. But this is a really nice brush. I do feel like it's It's doing really well with applying it. I feel like it's spreading really nicely on my face. This isn't the worst match in the world. If you drag it kind of to your neck, it's a little bit okay. So let's keep going with this, but my skin is nice and hydrated from that hydration cream from rephr. If you guys haven't tried that yet, they were doing this promotion where you could try it for like $1. It was like, basically they wanted the feedback. It was more important than charging all this money for it, so they could develop it perfectly. I just realized I put it on the other side of my face. I was supposed to do sponge. Jena, pay attention. I got so excited about rephr and their company. I really like them. So I was like, oh yeah, those guys. And I completely forgot about this. Stay to the script, Jena. Okay, so there's a little bit here, but I'm going to push it in with the sponge later. But it does seem to have medium coverage. I don't know if you guys would agree with that. You can see there's definitely some light pulling through, right? So it's looking really nice that way. It's definitely glowy. Remember, I didn't add any glow onto my skin before we started. So I wanted to make sure that whatever was the foundation would be what we see. This is a really nice brush for sure, although I don't think you need the Hourglass one. This is just like the Hourglass brand, but if you have anything that's dense with a curve like this, even without a curve, I like the curve because you can kind of go right in here when you apply, but if you don't have the curve, you can still just use a dense brush for applying. The undertone is not, it's peachy. It's definitely peachy. I wouldn't say it's neutral. Like neutral is a little bit less peachy, no? I don't know. That just to me seems a little off. Dampened my beauty blender for this next step. Doing the other side. So a strength with this one is that it sets, but I would say at a really nice medium speed. This was on my face for a good few minutes, thinking that I messed up, right? I was like, crap, I didn't do the sponge applicator for this one. And it's like almost set, but not quite. So I like that it's not super fast setting. I clipped my bangs back, I thought, and yet I still have to hold them. But it's layers for you. I'm gonna use the Hourglass concealer with this as well, just so that we keep with brand consistency. It should be working real well with their own concealer, right? So I'm just gonna apply it on my nose with the sponge. I'm noticing either for application, pressing it into the skin with a sponge does wonders too. So that's just your preference. I don't think there's one that's better than the other. Using their Vanish concealer, I'm actually using the shade Cedar for this. And I'm actually gonna go with my eyes, the eye area, with my eyes in the under eye area. Kind of the inner eye. I do have a little bit of discoloration here from time to time, so I just kind of go in here. See, this is, do you see how this undertone is a teeny less peachy, right? Like this is more so what I was hoping the foundation would be. You can see it's a little bit more yielding on the neutral side, but you can see like as the foundation's been applied, it's not like a terrible match, but I do like how this is a little bit more neutral, the concealer, right? I'm pretty sure this concealer is also neutral. This is Cedar, because I'm almost certain it's also a neutral. It's not. It says light peach undertones. I guess peach is more so my finish in this brand. Weird. Okay, well, lesson learned. This concealer goes a long way, so I just like to press and feather. Now for powder, I'm going to use the Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder. This is one of my faves, actually. Haven't used this one in a little while, so I'm gonna stick on brand again. I think I need to get a little bit of a better mirror because I find I'm looking over here, not at you, but my camera's in front of me. It's always tough with the placement of things. Gotta do your best. But this one is really, I would say, a natural finish. I don't feel like it's overly matte. I don't feel like it's overly dewy either for a finish. So I like that. And this shade is turning out to be all right. I was worried it was gonna oxidize even just a little bit. If it did, then I'm like really out of luck because like I can't go much darker than this. So, right? Because now we're really in unknown territory of looking like your foundation doesn't match. But this is a really nice lightweight powder. There's a teeny bit of a beiginess to it, but it's not gonna add warmth or anything to the face. It's just gonna do a really nice job of setting. So, so far so good here. What do you guys think of how everything's looking? I think it looks good. I don't know if it's like quite exactly the tone that I would like for my foundation, but it's not like terrible either. So could just be a slight modification with that shade, but we're making the shade work. Kind of finishing off this makeup for the trial, we do have another Hourglass product here. This is the mini bronzer. And I just go in, smaller brush for this, and you don't need to have a big one because you're trying to place that right into the small pan, trying to get all of that gradient. Like this is, I'll show you the gradient on the inside. It actually looks a little bit like it'd be a lot more paler. You can see that, but that darker pigment swishes really nicely. I just do kind of like tapping motions, warming up the face a little bit. I actually do like that you can have minis. There's minis in the blushes as well, because often a full size, unless it's like your only blush or your only bronzer, you don't need to have a full size. I'm like discouraging you from shopping, but really it's the smart thing to do, especially if you have large collections. Like if you're anything like myself, we love makeup and we love all sorts of stuff. You don't have to have full size of everything to enjoy, right? So right now this is just adding a little bit of warmth. I would say the only downside of having a mini is just that you have to select a brush head that's kind of corresponding to the pan size. If you want like a larger bronzing brush, then that kind of circumference is a little bit too small for a brush head that to be a little larger. Also might take a little bit more time to bronze because you're just doing more detailed bronzing. So, but I do like this one. I really like how it's like light reflecting, just like the rest of Hourglass's line. I'm actually going to use this Benefit blush today. This is the Willa blush. And this is a pigmented line, like the Wonderful Silky Blushes. Very pigmented. This is the rephr number 5. I'm just gonna like lightly. Do you see that? The lightest. And then I can build from there. I don't mind that. I just don't want to over blush. If you're one of those, like, it doesn't matter how much blush, like there's no such thing as too much, then you're gonna love this. But for me, I just want to go nice and easy, right? And that's it. That's all it takes. That's kind of where I would like to sit. Now for highlight, I'm going to use the Pillow Talk Multi Glow. This is in Romance Light. It's this beautiful gradient highlight from Charlotte Tilbury. And I just like to swirl all over, like, you know, all over the place, and pat. And I like to drag a little bit up here, kind of past the eye and a couple on the top of the head. I don't know why, I've just done that. I've never even like, don't even think that's like a rule. I think people might be like, why are you doing that? But like, that's just kind of how I've always done it, just to kind of add a bit of like this whole piece. We have the Soft Focus Setting Spray from Hourglass here. This is like noticeably cool, like to the touch. So it's kind of like refreshing. And sort of see how we're looking in a few hours. But so far, oh wait, lipstick. Guys, I am just not thinking straight lately. Okay, let's do lipstick. So I'm actually going to use this lip liner from Makeup Forever. This is actually the Artist Color Pencil in Anywhere Caffeine. And I was totally influenced by Hailey Bieber using this on TikTok, so that's how I know about it. I just like lightly line the lips. I don't do too much. I don't fill it in. See, just like a little bit of the Cupid's bow there. I've been getting like random breakouts around my lips lately. I feel like, you know, when will this acne leave me alone? Just like, if you have great skin, I actually work really hard to keep my skin as nice as I can. And if you have it naturally, I am jealous. I'm going to use my friend Tara Lynn's lipstick today, which is called Bare Nectar. This lip is so gorgeous, and I'm just so proud of her that she created this beautiful baby. So you can see Bare Nectar is on, and I feel like it just looks beautiful with these eyes. It's nothing too clashing or anything, but it just gives a nice spotlight on the lip. So we are done. This is how the foundation looks right now. So you can see like the, you know, the shade of it I would still say a little bit off than I would like. Maybe I need the peach undertone ones in the Hourglass line because I didn't realize this wasn't a neutral. So that could be it. I will just quickly do a tester when it comes in store and see if I need to do a little exchange, but this is so nice so far. Looking at my skin up close, is there anything going on? Nothing so far. It's not gathering in my lines yet, so I have a little bit of like lines in my eyes, you know, like laugh lines and stuff. Not gathering yet. Almost has a little bit of a natural finish, but leans like just a smidgen over to matte, like a little bit. And it has like that like slight powdery finish, if that makes sense. So not super like dead on natural, but sort of as it sets down full, it has a little bit of a powdery finish on top of the skin, but nothing where it's like very mattifying. It's kind of holding right now. I mean, obviously it's freshly applied, I would hope so, but it's looking good so far. I do feel like it's a medium coverage. I do feel like it's buildable. It's almost like a medium to full. So it has quite a bit of coverage behind it. You don't need to build too much. And that's even with someone that has a little bit of redness to the cheeks, as well as some acne scarring to cover, sometimes some hyperpigmentation as well that I can cover. You notice that I didn't put any concealer on my chin. I just put it on the eye area. So there's nothing covering here except for the foundation. So I'm going to check in to do a wear test at the end of the day, but so far so good. Hoping this one is a winner. So he's here for a check-in, but he actually just was outside. You're hot. Okay, you need some water? We say hi. We say hi, and then you get water. Oh, yeah, you want water. Okay. You can see that I did really well picking some very long-lasting makeup products because this almost looks freshly applied with the blush, with the highlight, with the bronzer. And it's because these are tried and true products, right? But this is the wear test after 8 hours. So I feel like I have sores coming on again. I think I feel like I'm allergic to these braces. I don't know what it is, but they keep coming back. It is so crazy. I just feel them again. Anyway, side note, my lipstick has faded, of course. I did eat and have some snacks and stuff, but here's what we're looking at. So a little bit of bunching here because I do have, you know, like a laugh line right there. There's a teeny bit of bunching there and a little bit of creasing here, kind of where the eye is. I think that's because I put a little bit too much concealer right there. That could be just a little bit more of like product buildup, but it's still there nonetheless. We have a little bit of dryness up here in the scalp line, and that's only because I know I've been doing hair treatments trying to get my flaky scalp kind of in control. So using some scrubby shampoos and serums and stuff. So right there makes a lot of sense to me because of the other stuff I'm doing. I do have a little bit collecting in the line here. Just for reference, guys, just kind of reminding you, I do have a normal skin type. So when it comes to that, I am not overly oily or overly dry. I do have a little bit of oil kind of peeking through in my T-zone. So I do think if you are oily, you're going to see that a lot more, of course. If you are dry, I think you really need to have this with a little bit of a hydrating primer to sort of help you out with a little bit of that cling action, because it is going to cling a little bit, especially to lines, like to wrinkles or to creases and things like that. So if you have a bit of a hydrating primer, it might help to soften that piece so it doesn't cling as easily. But I do think that this is actually a really nice one. I'm so far impressed. I've actually been testing the Lancome one as well, and the Lancome one is really beautiful, but it's very, very fragranced. This one is not fragranced at all. It does have a pump applicator as well, which is really nice, but the lack of fragrance is really, really nice, especially for those of us that want to avoid that. The Lancome one, actually have it right here. I will be doing a full update on this one, but this one is so heavily perfumed that as you're applying it, you can really smell it. And it's very floral and perfumey. It's not like we're talking about, you know, natural smells or anything. It's quite in your face. Of course, as it settles, it doesn't smell like that anymore, but when you apply it, it's definitely there. So if you're a fragrance fan, then no problem. But if you don't want that, I think that's going to be a deal breaker for that one. But you don't have to worry about it with the Hourglass product, which is nice. overall really impressed so far. I'll continue to keep testing it under different primers, using different setting sprays, just to kind of see if I can maybe perfect it perfectly. Perhaps the setting spray did something, or the primer, or you never know, right? But multiple tests will kind of give you whether or not it's going to be a really good fit for you long term. Let me know your thoughts down below. I really hope this review was helpful for you. Literally, as soon as it got in the mail, I was able to film first thing in the morning, and now I'm able to get this video up for you in the evening after the full 8 hours so I can get my full wear test in. Until my next one, take care and stay safe. Bye guys!